Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on this Sunday, October the 19th. Been a while since we've done a prime time show on a Sunday night because of the West Coast swing, because of the afternoon games, because of my travel. It feels like it's been about a month since we've done a prime time Sunday reaction show, but because it was a home game, because it was a noon game, and because this does warrant a certain type of conversation, we figured we would be here for you this evening to talk about all of the mess that took place today at Nissan Stadium. It's lovely to have you in for another episode of the Primetime program. You may notice that we have a new backdrop. We have a new, well, not necessarily new to A to Z, but TDOT, the Tennessee Department of Transportation, and their movement to make sure that nobody trashes Tennessee. It's ironic that we would have this. Nobody trashes Tennessee on this particular night because the people most associated with trashing the state of Tennessee, well, honestly, you could say that the Vols shit the bed as well. But the Titans, nobody is trashier at this point in time as far as their product goes than the Tennessee Titans. And we had a lot of different conversations today with Mike Vrabel coming to town and whipping that ass. So, with everything that you have to take into account and with all of the things that you saw today, we also need to talk about Cam Ward and his turnover issues contributing to the Titans' collapse against the Patriots. And it was, in fact, a collapse. So we will work our way through that. You will hear from Cam Ward. You will be able to give your opinion on the Cam Ward situation, and we will see if we can't come to some kind of resolution by the end of tonight's show. Before we get started, need you to share the broadcast around on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch in the comment section, wherever you are spending your precious and most valuable time with us. We do appreciate when you spend your time with us. Please share the show. If you're hanging out on Twitter, please retweet it in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you're on Facebook Live, you can share now to public. That's in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. YouTube and Twitch, you can like the video, throw a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel while you're there. We will appreciate your participation. And if you are so inclined, you can text the link to a frustrated Titans fan friend, of which I'm sure there are many. The problem is now that we've gotten through this particular game, the all-toxic game for the Tennessee Titans, hosting Mike Vrabel and then, predictably losing to Mike Vrabel, we really, the games lose a great deal of value other than the constant evaluation of Cam Ward. I'm concerned about fan apathy because now there's no reason for you to care about what the team is doing on a week-by-week basis other than the quarterback. And, of course, the quarterback is still important, but what we have to also address is that the quarterback is contributing to their problems. Cam Ward directly put them in a situation where they had about a 17-point swing today in a really, really big spot where they were holding their own, being competitive against a team that's, from a roster standpoint, not that much better than they are, and a team that's played 3 road games consecutively prior to this and has won now 4 in a row, the New England Patriots, but isn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And yet still they find ways to embarrass themselves. And the fact that Cam Ward is also contributing to the embarrassments is unfortunate too. So share the broadcast around. More y'all will trickle on in here as we get up and rolling, and we will begin our discussion together. Welcome. A to Z Sports Prime Time from the TDOT studios. Nobody trashes Tennessee is the mantra. You know this, except for the Tennessee Titans. I'm your host, Buck Rising, and I'm proud as always to be presented to you by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer, online at tworiversford.com. Quality American-made Ford vehicles and award-winning customer service is what they offer. By Simon Says Nashville, where you go to be the best version of yourself because you can dress like the best version of yourself at simonsaysnashville.com. Speaking of self-improvement, TrueMath Fitness in the Gulch, so you can fit in your nice new Simon Says Nashville clothes. TrueMath Fitness will put you in position to achieve your fitness goals. Go to truemathfitness.com. Your first workout is free. So the Titans lose today, 31-13. That's not surprising. Cam Ward, 25 of 34, 255 passing. He threw a touchdown pass, a really nice touchdown pass to Chimere Dike. He did throw one interception where he just put the ball in harm's way. He also lost a critical fumble that led to a touchdown by K'Lavon Chaisson. It was a bad Cam Ward performance. The box score will make it look better than it actually was because the box score for Cam Ward does not include fumbles lost. He has turned the ball over individually 10 times last year. Will Levis led and was tied for the league in individual turnovers last year with 18. Cam Ward, before the season is already halfway through, is on pace to eclipse Will Levis's turnover differential, which is a crazy thing to say, a crazy thing to think about, but that is indeed the case for Cam Ward, who, listen, there were all of the concerns that we saw from him in college and how they would translate to the next level are coming to fruition. And it's being exacerbated by the fact that he's on. I mean, the Jets are the worst team in football. They're 0-7. So the Titans are lucky that the Jets exist. But if not for the existence of the New York Jets, the Titans are probably the second worst team in football, because even the Cleveland Browns can show some fight in ways that the Tennessee Titans do not. Their one win on the season is something that was gifted to them by the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know how anybody could argue otherwise at this point in time. So with all the things that you're looking at, and all of the different discussions that are going to be had coming out of this game, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch is where you can interact with the show. And the question then becomes, what was the most disappointing part of today's loss? 31-13 to the New England Patriots. What was the most disappointing part to you as a Titans fan? We will talk about it at length together on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. Is how you get involved. Of course, you know that the Two Rivers Ford Take is made possible by the South's most trusted Ford dealer. That's Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. Real deals and no change of price, no subterfuge, no shell games when it comes to the price that you're actually paying. The price that you see on the sticker is the price that the vehicle will cost you. Two Rivers Ford finds the best price for you based on your family's budget and your needs. Go to Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com for more details. What was the most disappointing part of the latest Titans loss to you? Your Two Rivers Ford take on this Sunday evening. Mine was the way that they started and the fact that it wasn't sustainable. Actually, the Jeffrey Simmons injury. Jeffrey Simmons getting ruled out very quickly with a hamstring is tough. The offense came out swinging. They looked good. Cam Ward found ways to move the ball down the field. They were finding explosive plays. They ended up finding Chimere Dike for an explosive play. In this particular point, in this early part of the game, it's the first time the Titans have scored a first quarter touchdown all year long. And you said, my God, what kind of war criminal must Brian Callahan be for everything to look so much better as soon as he leaves? But then very quickly thereafter, they reverted to the problems that the Titans typically have. And at that point in time, you have a circumstance where the Titans are drowning. Again, Jeff Simmons goes out. He's ruled out with a hamstring injury. L'Jarius Sneed goes out with a quad injury. L'Jarius Sneed, by the way, getting commentary from Kayshon Boutte about lazy cornerback play. This was an article that Mass Live wrote, quoting Kayshon Boutte, who had one of the touchdown receptions from Drake May today, and I will find you the exact article. Quote, "We took advantage of lazy cornerback play and lazy safety play." That's the second time that an opponent, after, and understandably, after beating the Titans, has said, yeah, they came out flat in the case of the Colts, or in the case of the Patriots, they're looking around and saying, they're not out there trying. They're not out there giving great effort. Other football players questioning your effort is not the place that you want to exist in. So what's the biggest disappointment to you? To me, it's probably Jeff Simmons and his injury, because that sucks for Jeff. And obviously the dam broke for the Patriots, or the Patriots broke down the Titans dam after Jeffrey Simmons went out. And there were some moments where they got the Patriots off the field as an offense, but it was really, really bad. This was Cam Ward talking about a couple of different things specific to the urgency and specific to his turnover issues, which are a problem at this point in time.
Quick start, and then maybe what happened in the third where you guys couldn't really get much going at all.
I think just with the quick start is just us having urgency. That's how we need to start every game and maintain it throughout the whole game. And just the third quarter, really fumbling football. I think that was what really set us back. If I don't do that, it's not, the game doesn't get out of hand that fast. So just gotta, continue to, have ball security and, get better.
Did it slip on that play?
You said what?
Did it just slip on that play, that fumble?
Yeah.
That's 2 weeks in a row. What's going on?
Gotta hold on to it tighter. But really, just got to continue to emphasize it within myself. Got to be better at it. I know that's something that, I can't continue to let happen. I got to cut that out next week.
Do you feel like you guys lose urgency at any point? You said that the first quarter of the success is from the urgency.
No, we don't lose urgency. It's just we have to continue to stack plays. And there's just, whether it's a false start and even towards the end of half, I should have checked the ball down, ended up stopping the clock again. We had to just, waste the play on what we didn't have to. It's just all of us have to continue to do our job every play. And when we do that, we can be a good offense.
Did you get a chance to push at all to go to try to score a field goal before halftime? Or is there no chance for you to kind of participate?
That's the goal, to get points. We had enough time. We had 3 timeouts. But when I don't take the completion right there like I need to, it puts the coaches, in the offense, in a bad situation. So that's how it ended up happening. So, I just got to be better. We got to be better as a whole. And then at the end of the day, we got to, win games. We have to start next week by winning the football game.
Obviously, you didn't get the result, but how do you like the way Mike McCoy and some of the changes that he's implemented? How do you like how that went throughout the week and in the game?
I think Mike, he's done an unbelievable job, especially within the circumstances that he's in. And everything, he's preached to us since he was named the interim. And then all the way to this point, it stayed true. We want to be, a hard, tough, and physical football team. And we were that at times, but we weren't that the entirety of the game. That's why we got the outcome. So we got to continue to, pour to the coach staff. The coach staff continue to pour into us, and we got to, flip this thing around.
Anything pouring into you? He mentioned how previously working with Trevor Lawrence, he just told him all the time that, hey, you're getting better, you're getting better. Is that something you've experienced in this short time with him?
Yeah, I've experienced that every game. Not only him just telling me that I get better, I'm feeling that I'm getting better just because, the level that you have to play at consistently. And just as a whole, myself and as an offense, we haven't done that consistently. And I just think the coaching staff, they never really tell us, like what we have to, just continue to emphasize. They more tell them just to play the next play, continue to play. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to have a perfect game. But you got to continue to stack perfect plays to end up trying to be in a situation to win.
Is there anything you could take from Drake May's path? He had a somewhat rough rookie year, had a new coach his second season, he's playing like that. That's a pretty good course he's on. You think you can follow that?
It's not really about following him. It's more of, being myself. I think he's a great player. He's going to continue to, make plays in this league. When it's all said and done, I think me and him, we'll have a chance to have some elite battles. So he got the best of us today, but we got to continue to get better. But, that's not really the main goal as far as, us trying to, try to beat a particular person. Something we trying to, play together. We ain't played complimentary football, for a decent amount of time. It's only been at clicks of the other day. So, we just got to continue to pour on each other, do better, and try to win next week.
What allowed for you to have so much success with Shim early, and did they do anything to kind of try to take him away?
Say that again?
What allowed you and Shim to have the success you had right out of the gate, and did they do anything to try to take him away in a second?
Me and Chim, we just see it the same way from, how he sees the fields to how I see the fields the same way. And I think that's something that me and him continue to, create that relationship just on the field. And I think he had an unbelievable day, not only in the return game, but especially at receiver. And I think the more reps me and Chim, get together, the better we're going to be. But, this only start.
On the fumbles, Cam, do you think it's more an issue with like focus and concentration, or is it more mechanics, which caused those couple fumbles last
I don't think it's neither. I just got to hold on to the football.
Did coaching staff tell you anything after that fumble?
Nah, they don't really be crashing out on the sidelines. It's really more of next play. But they don't need to tell me that. I know that. But, I got a great coaching staff around me, and Bo, he continuously tell me what I need to get better at. And that's one of the, opportunities I have to get better at.
Do any examples come to mind of anything that was new or done differently today versus the first 6 games under Brian?
In terms of like?
In general, operation, communication, strategy, scheme, was anything different today than what had been in the past? Not really in the terms of just how it translates to the game or play. I think the biggest difference only been just practice. We had a great week of practice, and I think it translates to the game. Not the whole game, but we're starting to
feel it click, but nothing really changed. Coach Callahan, he did his best for us. He's a great head coach. He's a guy who took a chance out of me, so I'm forever going to be grateful to him. But we just got to continue to play complementary football. We did it for one half. We didn't do it the next half, so, that's the next improvement for us.
What are maybe nights like or 24 hours like for you after a game when things don't go as well as you want them to, as far as beating yourself up, and how are you as far as putting stuff behind you and getting ready for like the Colts next week?
I put stuff behind me fast. I think as a quarterback, you have to be able to, be able to play next play. You got to be able to flush stuff. And it's really me watching all my bad plays. How can I prevent it? What situation are we in? What down are we in? And even on some good plays, there's some stuff that I can continue to do better today. But I just got to be able to, build off the bad plays and make them into more good plays.
Are there more opportunities today, Cam, for big chunk plays, even with Calvin out of the game? Looks like you had some decent success in getting the ball downfield.
Yeah, I think that was more of an emphasis this week just because the different coverages that they can get to. It's a good defense that they have in the back end. And at the end of the day, we had to put the ball in play as well, starting early, just, taking what they give us until we're able to get, the intermediate and deep throws. So we just got to continue to stack plays like that.
The interception that was behind Chig, it looked similar to the miss in that same area of the field to Ellick in the first quarter. Were those the same route or the same play? It looked like the same miss. Was there miscommunication there in terms of the landmark, or were you just behind them?
No, it wasn't the same route or the same play, completely different concept. I just threw the ball behind them, so I just need to be accurate with football.
To what extent do you think your performance so far is representative of what Cam Ward can do at the quarterback position?
Say that again?
To what extent has your play thus far aligned, in your opinion, with what Cam Ward can do as a quarterback?
I think he can do a lot. He can push the ball down the field. He can make plays with his plays. With his feet, and he can motivate his teammates to, continue to try to score every drive. That's the standard that we want, is to score the football every time we touch the field, whether it's with 3 or 7. I think that's just what I possess. Not a lot of people can go the route that I took to get to this point. So I'm not tripping, over just a certain situation that, one person in or I'm in. I'm more trying to get better every day and meet my end goal, trying to be one of the best.
That touchdown, the 38-yarder, DK said that's something that you guys talked about. You repped. How long have you been waiting to have that opportunity and that exact look to be able to take advantage of what both you and he do well?
I was ready for that play. We had that play on the sheet for about 3-4 weeks. So whenever he called it, I got the smiling in the huddle. Almost checked out the play, but we reloaded. And then, that's Chim really making the play. The O-line did an unbelievable job just getting everybody out the way. Gunner sealed it, with the pin block, and Chim made the play. So I got to continue to put the ball in his hands, let him make plays because, when he touched the ball, he's dangerous.
Was that the first time that was called this season?
That specific play?
Yes.
That specific play, yeah. Not the protection screen, everything. We just got a new play in. It worked.
Thanks.
So that's Cam Ward talking about today's performance, and the turnovers have to stop. A to Z Sports Prime Time is presented by the great people at TrueMath Fitness. Doesn't matter if you stopped working out, TrueMath will help you get back on the right track. They don't care what your level of fitness is. It will matter specifically to you how they go about attacking your fitness goals. TrueMathFitness.com for more information. Your first workout is free. So Cam Ward going into a variety of different detail, and I thought he gave some good answers, right? Like there's no excuse for the fumbling. He now has 10 individual turnovers through 7 games. He directly had one turnover lead to an actual touchdown, that fumble where he just lets go of the ball. And in those kind of situations, I know there's a lot of people who are praising Cam Ward or excited about Cam Ward, the potential of him. And like that 38-yard touchdown pass is exactly why you get excited about him. He's good for 1 or 2 of those every game so far. But at a certain point, he's just not playing the position well enough, which brings us to our next question on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. How much blame does Cam Ward deserve, in your opinion, for the way that the Titans are losing these games, and in particular, the way that the Titans collapsed in this game? Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch is how you can get involved there. What percentage of the blame does Cam Ward deserve for today's loss and the way that Cam Ward is playing? I think it's completely fine to point out that there needs to be a conversation had about him where he's making the same mistakes. It's not that Cam Ward can't be the future quarterback of the Tennessee Titans. It's not that the Titans need to, that he's a bust or anything like that. I put out on Twitter earlier today, and some Titans, it seemed about 50-50 split based on how people were reacting to Cam Ward's performance today. Basically, like, are y'all ready to have a conversation about Cam Ward or not? And that could mean anything. It wasn't specific to, like, all right, he's a bust, he can't play, get this guy out of here. That's not what the intention of the tweet was. I guess it just depends on how people took it or how people thought I meant it, whatever. But my meaning behind that is yeah, he's directly contributing to this. I mean, he is a part of the problem right now. They are all part of the problem. Cam Ward has a reasonable amount of blame to shoulder here. I think that's fair. Toby says Cam gets less than 20 or negative 20%. Is that a negative 20% or about 20%? Sorry, I had to done have my glasses on. Gets about 20% of the blame for today's loss. And that's a big chunk, right? I mean, there's a variety of different things that happened in that game. Obviously, the run defense didn't hold up. Patriots are the worst rush offense in football. And Ramondre Stevenson very quickly eclipsed triple digits and had a rushing touchdown on them today. That's bad. That's not Cam Ward's fault. You had what Keyshawn Butte is calling lazy cornerback and lazy safety play. So coverage busts are not Cam Ward's fault in those particular situations. I think that 25% of the blame is fair at this point in time. I think he's not been good. Now, the curious thing, and this is an offseason conversation, it's premature to have it, but if a coach comes in here or the coach that they decide is the right coach for the job, but that coach says, I don't want to be married to Cam Ward. I want an open quarterback competition when I come in here. I want to give Will Levis the opportunity to compete. I also want the opportunity to sign a veteran. I don't care if this coach that they hire says, as a part of, if I agree to take this job, if I agree to come work for this shit show of an organization, God knows they are a shit show. If I agree to work for, I think she's the worst owner in sports or in pro football right now, Amy Adams Strunks. If I agree to come work for the worst owner in pro football, I want to be able to handle the quarterback situation as I see fit. I don't know how fans are going to respond to that at this point in time. I think that there would be pushback, and I think that fans would probably side on, hey, make it work with Cam Ward or don't come coach here. But if there's good coaching candidates out there, like proven coaches, not like Joe Brady, who I pray to God the Titans don't go in that direction. MB says probably need a different head coach than Buck. I don't think so. Like, why? What is it about Cam Ward that has shown you that he is worthy of sacrificing coaches who are proven commodities in the NFL versus somebody who has yet to prove that he's anything but an occasional big play and a turnover machine? I disagree with that logic. I don't think I'm not saying that you abandon ship by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying I think it's a more complicated question than I think most of us are prepared to have the conversation. And there is precedent, right? It didn't necessarily work out for Cliff Kingsbury, but Cliff Kingsbury was correct in identifying that Josh Rosen wasn't the right player, drafting Kyler Murray #1 overall, and moving forward. Now, Cliff Kingsbury got fired 3 years into that experiment, but it was a circumstance where, Cliff was right. It doesn't matter that the Cardinals drafted a first-round quarterback the year before. If he wasn't the right guy for the coach, then you're already coming in a conflict. That's like saying that, yeah, I'll sign up to work with Will Levis, and then Will Levis crashing out on you and you looking around being like, well, why didn't you do your job around the coach? Curator says at a point, even the media gets sick of a terrible team. I mean, listen, I struggle with this because, I think there's a fair amount of Titans fans that think I hate the Titans. And I don't hate the Titans. I don't hate the players. I don't hate the coaches. I do hate the way that they're run. I hate that they have made this worse than it needs to be. I hate that I hate bad football. I hate wasting, our time and your time screwing around trying to fix this thing when the root of all evil is sitting at the top, essentially, and whose decision making continues to send this thing spiraling. And the fact that there's no sense in change, or there is no way that an ownership change happens unless there's, again, congressional subpoenas and she's forced out for something that we don't know about, or some kind of investigation gets done and all of a sudden Amy Adams Strunk is Dan Snyder. But There's nothing like that out there as far as we know. So if the ownership doesn't change and the cycle, things change but remain the same, yeah, I'm sick of them ruining football players. I think that they are toxic. I think that they are a plague. I think that they as an organization are poorly run. I think that Amy Adams Strunk has empowered the wrong people to make decisions. I think she has chosen the wrong people to make the decisions for her. I think that I agree with Mike Silver when he came on the radio show this week and called her gutless for not answering questions about this. I think that she, I think that it's somewhere between cowardice, gutlessness, or incompetence, and neither of those things are good. I think that they are poorly run. And that sucks because it sucks for the players, it sucks for the coaches, it sucks for the fans. And I don't know how you fix that. There is no way to fix that unless she just starts to do the job better. And I don't know, I'm not going to be able to help you identify when that happens or how that happens until it does, right? And even then, they could just get lucky and a better football player come in here and bail them out of all the incompetence that they covered up. Donald Reed says, you are being so overdramatic. Okay, Donald, what would you call the existence of your franchises of late? How would you define it? What's overdramatic to you? The constant losing, they're 1-6. They should be 0-7. The fact that you have fired 4 heads of state in the last 3.5 years, not even 3.5 years, and that your owner did it this time. Again, Brian Callahan deserved to be fired, but the fact that she just did it on a whim because she makes decisions emotionally as opposed to rationally, sent your organization into a tailspin. Do you care that she cares more about optics than she does, and her stadium, than she does clearly about a winning football team? And that one of the things that was cited in the CBS report that was done, and really great and well-sourced journalism done by Jonathan Jones at CBS Sports this week, citing that having a quote from a source close to Amy Adams Strunk say that the most important thing in the next coaching search for your ownership is that she doesn't get chastised in the media about it. What, if anything, I'm being pretty rational about the fact that you're the worst run organization in football right now. If you don't see that, I mean, I guess that's on you. You can live with your head in the sand if you want to. You can side with management over labor, which is a weird thing to do because you should not assume competency from the people that continue to show you incompetence. You can shrug it off and say, oh, well, they'll get better next year. They'll draft better, this, that, and the other. But we've been doing this for 3 years. At this point in time, it doesn't actually take that long at this point in time to turn an organization around. It really doesn't if you know what you're doing. They don't know what they're doing. It's as simple as that. So, yeah, you are simping for people that don't deserve your simping. And that to me is confusing. I don't think that you can be over dramatic about how bad this product is. And I think to do so would be ignorant. I think it would be disingenuous. I think that if you really want to change an organization, there's more power in you guys than there is in us. I think that at a certain point, you have to stop giving them your dollars because they continue to disappoint you, continue to let you down, continue to find ways to shit the bed. Because Street Law Dell on Facebook says only one team wins the championship every year, Buck. Yeah, you think you're close to winning a championship? Look at the Colts. The Colts have been one of the most dysfunctional organizations in the NFL in the last couple of years. They figured out a way to turn it around faster than you did. The Texans have been dysfunctional and found ways to turn it around faster than you did. The fact that you are in this cycle of suck for so long is a direct reflection on the people running it. It's not about the players anymore. There are still good players on this football team that have gotten worse because they have been put in a position to find ways to make the good things on this football team irrelevant and make the good things on this football team worse. And at a certain point, we're almost 4 years removed from John Robinson. They have had many opportunities to fix this. The fact that their hires keep getting it wrong is, again, a direct reflection on the people making the decisions on the hires. Guys, it doesn't take that long to dig yourself out. I know that it's bad, and I know that they have put themselves in a larger hole than most, and it is all self-inflicted. It is completely self-inflicted wounds. And there are many people who have parts of blame in this. Will Levis, John Robinson, Rand Carthon, Mike Vrabel deserve some level of blame in this, but nobody deserves more blame than the person running it. There's two people Yeah, two people I think that deserve the most amount of blame. Amy Adams-Strunk first and foremost, Bert Nihil, the team president, second, because business should be nowhere near football decisions. And Bert Nihil helping her get a stadium built, helping add a B to her net worth and generational wealth for her family for years to come, has given him a level of influence that his resume, his credentials don't say that he deserves to have. So I think that those two people have put this franchise in a hole that they continuously have to dig out of, and they haven't reached the bottom yet. It seems you are going to be worse, it seems, than the 3-14 team that was fielded last year. You are worse offensively. They were scoring almost 19 points per game last year, 18.3. And again, low bar, 18.3. But now you're scoring less than 2 touchdowns a game. Today, you even achieved less than your season average. Your season average is 13.8. Can anybody in the crowd, anybody in the class, tell me how many points the Tennessee Titans, as a alleged professional football organization, scored today? They scored 13. So you don't deserve this. If you're somebody who wants to make excuses for them, that's fine, but you're fool to do so because they keep showing you what they are time in and time out. And it's to the detriment of you. It's to the detriment of the football players. It's to the detriment of the coaches. And Mike Vrabel is a shining example of how you can leave this place and get better. There are many people who have left this place and gotten better. That's not a shining endorsement of the organization. Doesn't mean that Vrabel and A.J. Brown and Kevin Byard, and there are plenty of people who crashed out of their own volition and haven't succeeded post Tennessee Titans. I don't know what will happen to Brian Callahan or Rand Carthon. John Robinson obviously hasn't worked in pro football again. It's not a complete thing, but like there are a lot of people who end up leaving this organization and who end up better off for it. At a certain point, you got to look inward. They have to look inward, and it doesn't seem that they're willing to do so at this point in time. They just keep making mistakes. All right. Let's move on to a little bit of Sunday. The question that I asked you is what percentage of the blame does Cam Ward deserve today? Cam Ward was asked about any differences in the practice week, and we just played for you a good portion of the press conference. But Mike McCoy, is not going to answer questions in great detail at this point in time. But Cam Ward is at least giving you some answers on, hey, what was different about this week than the previous 6, and what are you working towards? What progress can you make based on what you think you had in the first quarter, and then obviously what faded away?
Come to mind of anything that was new or done differently today versus the first 6 games under Brian?
In terms of like,
in general, operation, communication, strategy, scheme, was anything different today than what had been in the past? Not really in the terms of just how it translates to the game, our play. I think the biggest difference only been just practice. We had a great week of practice, and I think it translates to the game. Not the whole game, but we're starting to feel it click. But nothing really changed. Coach Callahan, he did his best for us. He's a great head coach. He's a guy who took a chance out of me, so I'm forever going to be grateful to him. But we just got to continue to play complementary football. We did it for one half. We didn't do it the next half. So, that's the next improvement for us.
What are maybe nights like or 24 hours like for you after a game when things don't go as well as you want them to, as far as beating yourself up, and how are you as far as putting stuff behind you and getting ready for like the Colts next week?
I put stuff behind me fast. I think as a quarterback, you have to be able to play next play. You got to be able to flush stuff. And it's really me watching all my bad plays. How can I prevent it? What situation are we in? What down are we in? And even on some good plays, there's some stuff that I can continue to do better today. But I just got to be able to, build off the bad plays and make them into more good plays.
Are there more opportunities today, Cam, for big chunk plays, even with Calvin out of the game? Looks like you had some decent success in getting the ball downfield.
Yeah, I think that it was more of an emphasis this week just because the different coverages that they can get to. It's a good defense that they have in the back end. And at the end of the day, we had to put the ball in play as well, starting early, just, taking what they give us until we're able to get, the intermediate and deep throws. So we just got to continue to stack plays like that.
The interception that was behind Shig, it looked similar to the miss in that same area of the field to Ellick in the first quarter. Were those the same route or the same play? It looked like the same miss. Was there a miscommunication there in terms of a landmark, or were you just behind them?
No, it wasn't the same route or the same play, completely different concept. I just threw the ball behind them, so I just need to be accurate with football.
All right, so that is Cam Ward talking today after the game. Corey Nichols says, why did you guys expect a winning season? The coaching is trash. The line is trash. We need better players. Coaching matters, man. Just look at the other young quarterbacks compared to ours. No, who expected a winning season? I think I picked them to win 5 games. Now, obviously, I overshot it because I would be shocked if they even got to 3 at this point in time. But your goalpost moving. Nobody at all said that they expected a winning season. People just expected improvement and growth. This organization has proven that they're incapable of that, or at least today. Again, I say this every week. They're welcome to prove me wrong. God bless. They just seem to do the exact same shit over and over and over again in ways that just make you miserable. All right. Little Sunday fun day. Little positivity. Listen, I understand that Titans fans are tired of hearing about Mike Vrabel. And Mike Vrabel is not the greatest coach of all time. But he was 31-13 better than you were today. Now, it's got nothing to do with the score, got nothing to do with the game. The thing that made me happy, the thing that put a smile on my face today was Mike Vrabel was here for 6 years, and obviously those of us who covered Mike Vrabel have a relationship with him. But one of my favorite dynamics between Vrabel and us is he and Teresa Walker and their relationship. Teresa Walker, the Associated Press, because what Mike does is he always gives the first question to Teresa. In the situation for him now in New England, there's a reporter named Karen. I'm not familiar with Karen's last name. I believe it starts with a G. Either way, he always defers to them to ask the first question. ESPN, apparently, I didn't get to see it on TV, so this is going to be my first time watching it, but enough people sent it to me that I enjoyed it, or I enjoyed the idea of it. So this was my Sunday fun day. Mike Vrabel and Teresa Walker talking about the dynamic and coming back to Tennessee. We'll play that for you here in just a second, right after I remind you, the primetime program made possible by SimonsSaysNashville.com. The best men's clothing spot in Nashville is Simon Says Nashville. They will equip you with the best possible pieces. You won't find things that they have anywhere else online or in stores. SimonsSaysNashville.com in Wedgwood, Houston is where you can find them, and they will get you dressing for success. So here's our Sunday fun day, courtesy of ESPN.
Teresa?
Good, how are you, Mike?
Great. Go ahead, Teresa.
I'll ask you the same thing.
Teresa?
Oh, sorry about that.
Hi, Teresa.
Good morning, Mike. That the tail of the game?
Well, it's a large part of the game.
I'm Teresa Walker. I'm the state sports editor for the Associated Press in Tennessee. I've covered this franchise, the Tennessee Titans, since they first arrived in the state of Tennessee in July of 1997.
It's a tough business, I think, for females, right? For women, you know, breaking into this league. And again, when I got to Tennessee, just trying to get to know everybody, and then there's Teresa, and she's plugging away, and she's always right there in front and super attentive. And so I figured, just out of respect to her, you know, give her the first question, and it kind of stuck.
How are you, Teresa?
I'm good, how are you?
Great.
And I make sure to try to introduce myself to all the new coaches that I'm covering so that they know who I am. I'm asking objective, newsy-based questions.
Just made me happy. It was a fun dynamic, and it was cool to see them pay tribute to that and to Teresa's credit on ESPN today. And so I understand it was a larger piece that way, but for us to see a snippet of that was cool, because that's the dynamic that they've always had in those press conferences with us. So Titans, they'll see if they can figure it out here moving forward, going to Indianapolis in week 8. Obviously, we'll be there to cover it all. Radio show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or rather radio show on 104.5 The Zone tomorrow. And you can live stream it there too, if you're so inclined. Ben Jones will be on. Brett Kern will be on. Don Davenport and I have a disagreement about the conversation around Cam Ward. So maybe we can bully Don into making an appearance as well there tomorrow, or at least at some point in the week, whether I go on 3HL or Don comes on our show. But either way, we'll look forward to it. We hope you come hang out with us, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on 104.5 The Zone.
Go home! Go home! Go home! You're embarrassing Nashville. Go home!